right. Welcome everybody to another very exciting week 2 match. We have Turk versus Nockess. This is in the 1-0 bracket in week 2. I'm joined here by Connie. How you doing, Connie?
Doing good. Really excited to see how this match unfolds.
What would you say your expectations are for this game?
I think it'll be a very close match. Maybe we'll even see a 3-2 going into the randomizer. For who the 3-2 will be, I have absolutely no idea. Both of the players are incredibly strong, and it could go either way, honestly.
Yeah, definitely agree. And these are two players with very different strengths, I would say. Turk is much more of a tactical player, whereas Nockess relies a lot more on their pure speed. And Turk picks Horizon in the first game, which I have to say is not a pick I really expected from him, just given his player profile. But we're going to have to see how it works out for him. Very ballsy pick in game 1.
There's the first blue, which it seems like it will go to
Both
either
players.
both of them.
Yep, but Nockess gets a better rebound, and that's going to allow them to get a few extra points in the lead here, bouncing off the ramp to grab that yellow, but Turk may be better positioned to get the remaining gems, using the Mega to kind of cast Nockess aside. Still going to be a 3-point lead so far as we start to round out the first minute of this game. Both players have a super speed at the ready. Turk trying to line up how to get both of these yellows, but ultimately is a little bit paralyzed, maybe some nerves there. Decides to go around and get the reds and the third yellow instead. And a very convenient blue for Turk here.
Turk gets that blue, and Nockess is left to the janitorial job of getting the rest of the gems. They're both waiting for another blue here, and there they go, sharing that blue once again.
Yep.
Seems like, yeah.
Both these players are definitely wise enough to not pick up the last red on Horizon. We'll see who can actually land this skill shot on this yellow. Nockess is going to go crossbeam and bounce off the wall in order to come back and get that red. And this is going to give a very narrow lead to Nockess, but Turk was a little bit ahead on that spawn, but seemed to kind of overdo it just a little bit, and Nockess is going to be coming out on top for this one. Turk waiting for the blast to come back up. Seems a little bit nervous in this first game, I gotta say, whereas Nockess seems to be more collected so far.
Yeah, definitely. And especially, like you said, Nockess is relying more on speed, while Turk more on the offensive side. I would have expected him to pick the Marble, honestly. Horizon, the gap is growing more. I think I don't want to call it, but I think it'll go to Nockess this first game.
Still more than half the game, and we know on a map like Horizon with the famous double blue, a 10-point lead can vanish in an instant, and right now the lead is even less than that. So Turk is still keeping himself in this game. Without any ping advantage on the server, it's very important to make sure you win your own map picks, because Nockess is going to have some picks that is going to let them show off their technical prowess much more than Turk would really like. So needs to find a strong performance here in the back half of this match. See, sticking with it, but Nockess already where that next spawn coming in and going to clean that one up easily. Nockess does not have a super speed. Oh, but Turk doesn't actually manage to steal that one, and very convenient blue for Nockess. Turk is going to equalize things with the remaining reds on this spawn. But Nockess, the reds are kind of just spawning wherever they go, and that is resulting in the biggest lead we've seen so far this game of about 10 points. Turk is going to start running out of time to bring this one back, but the double blue is coming, and Nockess only managed to get one from the snipe. Turk keeps himself in this game by taking the other. They're going to share that red and wait for the time to expire yet again. Turk's got to find a 10-point advantage. Opts to try and go for the blast, but all the while, Nockess is cleaning up the next spawn, which is in very close proximity. They're going to share that blue, but yet again, Nockess's trajectory towards the remainder of the spawn, and Turk is nowhere to be seen. Looks like it's starting to crumble for Turk here.
Yeah, especially because seeing Nockess has better reaction time, especially on that blue, instantly went for it and was able to share it with Turk, which is going to maintain his gap, or their gap.
Yeah, and Turk is going to get all the more desperate as time starts to run out. And when you get in that kind of situation, you're going to be forced to pick up the dead reds that would normally be leftovers, putting yourself in incrementally more and more worse situations. You can see Turk's trying to catch up as much as he can, but constantly finding himself out of position for these spawns. The lead slowly but surely growing, and 20 points in 20 seconds is just going to be too much to ask unless there is some unfathomable luck towards the way of Turk.
Yeah, Turk at this point would need to get maybe 2 of those double blue spawns, but
Right.
it's just too late.
Yeah, too
There's
little,
not
too
enough
late,
time.
and Nockess wisely positioning themselves towards the double blue, making sure there is no possible opportunity for Turk to come back, and that is going to be a 14-point game on Turk's pick in the favor of Nockess.
Very exciting stuff for the first game.
Yeah, I gotta reiterate how surprised I am that Turk opted for something like Horizon into a player like Nockess. You would think that something Turk is more known for, like a Q-Bile or an Epicenter, or Triple Decker, a close quarters map where you rely on the Megas and Blast, would be something where he would be much more favored. But nonetheless, picks Horizon, gets punished for it.
Yeah. Now we have Nockess picking Stadium, which is an even bigger map.
This is about as big of a map as you get without going into Citadel territory, where I can guarantee you Turk does not want to go.
Oh, absolutely. That would be very bad for Turk.
Yeah, not that Nockess is known to be a Citadel player or anything, but this is exactly the kind of wide open map that I would expect Nockess to be able to succeed very strongly against Turk on.
Yeah, it's very you rely a lot on speed here. How you can control your speed, because you can go too fast and miss an entire spawn. But with how Nockess is like as a player,
Ready,
I think they'll do well.
set, go.
Yeah, you would assume this map would be entirely about speed, but actually I found it to be much more about your routing and your super speed management rather than your raw speed. Having good control of your marble and natural bouncing at the right times are also very important, but that's something Turk can do as well. But you see Nockess already getting an early lead on this second spawn. Turk picks up a blast. We're going to have to track very closely how he's able to utilize that one. Nockess about 1 second ahead to the third spawn of the game. And Turk doing a little bit of chasing here. Nockess wisely kind of goes through the middle of this spawn, leaving Turk left to pick left or right when it comes to cleaning up the rest of that one, and Nockess can easily pick the route that Turk didn't go to clean up the majority of the spawn. Fortunately for Turk, though, going to have a substantial lead on this spawn. Nockess struggling to pick up a little bit of the leftover yellow there, and Turk now has a couple seconds of tempo advantage. Nockess kamikazing for that yellow, but Turk is going to clean this one up, has a super speed ready to go. Nockess is quite a bit behind the curve here, but Turk doesn't seem to think he was able to get the blue ahead of Nockess, perhaps not realizing the second or two advantage that he had, or just not confident in his ability to secure that one. But regardless, it's going to let Nockess even up the scores here.
Yeah, I think Turk let nerves take over him a little bit, and that's why he didn't go for the blue, because if he went for the blue, if he would have gone too fast for the blue, he would have missed the rest of the spawn. I guess that's what his thought process was like, so he went for the other gems.
Yeah, Turk taking a suboptimal path there. Nockess going to be able to get the majority of that spawn, which was all in a line in the top section, and a very convenient spawn yet again for Nockess. Oh, but Turk manages to get there in time, and they share it. That's going to be very pivotal for his ability to stay close in this game. Turk going for a nice blast as well, keeping the lead under 10 points. Both of them quite close to this next spawn. Turk going through the middle, trying to cut the spawn in half, but Nockess still able to mostly come out even in this one. Both players have a super speed ready to go, but given the proximity, neither of them are going to have to commit it to this spawn, and both of them should come out even for this one as well. So halfway through the match, and things are very, very close. Both of them finally incentivized to use their super speed here, and should be about 3 gems apiece on each of these spawns. Turk actually goes up to contest a gem there, but they should be able to get 1 more yellow each. They both have the super speed ready to go. A little bit better of a spawn for Nockess, but Turk is right on their heels.
I think Nockess gets or nets higher value from that spawn. Nockess is in a better position for this spawn. Turk going for the extreme side of the spawn, not really managing to get that many points.
It's only a 5-point lead here. Turk's done very well for himself to keep himself within arm's length of winning this game. With 2 minutes to go, anything can still happen, but Turk is going to have to get those nerves under control and be willing to bet big on some of these blues, as Stadium is often determined by how many of those you can snipe from under your opponent's nose. And super speed ready to go for both players. The spawn is all the way across the map. Which of them can navigate the ramps on this better across? And Turk's actually able to catch up a lot of ground, nails the blast, able to cut the spawn in half yet again, as we've seen so many times. Very important to do on Stadium. Keeps the lead down to 5 points. Minute and 15 to go now. Nockess starting from the far side of the spawn, but whiffs on that yellow and is going to go all the way down for this one, leaving the majority of the spawn for Turk. This is going to be the first lead for Turk we've seen in this game. However, it's a very good spawn for Nockess. With the super jump, Turk is just going to be a little bit too far behind, and unfortunately for him, this spawn is a blue.
The spawn is a blue, but Turk is still able to get quite a bit of value from the rest of the yellow gems.
Neck and neck as we come up to this next spawn. Nockess able to get the 3 in a line, and that's going to be very nice for them. Able to share these last 2. 4-point game. Looks like Turk tried to take a super speed there with one of his own, but again, a little bit unfortunate, unlucky with the spawn location, as Nockess is able to just turn around just a little bit and collect most of the gems from this one. It's going to keep at about 6 points. 20 seconds to go. Turk has got to find a 3-gem advantage unless there's any blues that come into the picture. Should be able to find a nice couple of yellows here, but again, we're talking about 1 more spawn left in the game. It's still 6 points, but a blue is exactly what Turk needs. Nockess is a little bit behind the curve. Turk misses the blue. Will Nockess find the opportunity? The Mega comes out, but now it's too little too late. The rest of the yellows were scooped up by Nockess in the meantime, and that is going to be a closer game than the first match, but Nockess takes their own pick of Stadium.
Wow. What a thrilling end there. Turk had the chance to come back with a blue and a few yellows, but it just wasn't. It just wasn't it.
King of the Marble picked by Turk, and this is exactly the kind of map that you said it earlier would be a Turk option into a player like Nockess, who always wants to be ahead with the technical, mechanical ability of the marble control. Well, that doesn't really matter all that much on King of the Marble. We know Turk has expert aggression and ability to use those megas and blasts at the right time. This is something that he's brought out in practice against me a lot recently, and definitely something he's ready to pull in this tournament against anyone unsuspecting. So we're going to have to see how Nockess gets to grips with this one.
It's going to be interesting. I do think Turk's going to win this one, but I think it's going to be close, as the other matches have been. I don't know how good Nockess is on aggression overall. And there he tries to blast. They try to blast Turk.
Nockess off to a very hot start here, utilizing the better blast and the better Mega Marble domination here. Turk has the blast ready to go, though, and while Nockess is a little bit hesitant with the blue, or sorry, the Mega Marble, they're going to fall off the map, and Turk's able to get quite a few gems. You can see Turk is really prioritizing these blasts, picking up these yellows, and it's a very, very even game to start this one off. Another nice blast from Turk, stealing the yellow from Nockess. Nockess tries to retaliate, but Turk is still able to get there first, and you can see wisely not picking up that red until able to pick up another blast here for Turk, and that's going to be a 6-point game suddenly out of nowhere for Turk.
Yeah, we can see Turk's really good with these blasts, and blasts are really powerful on a map like this if you know how to use them. Yeah. But there we go, Nockess with the Mega Marble. Nockess definitely also knows how to play on the offensive.
Nice blast there from Nockess, going to finally retaliate and knock Turk off the map. You can see Turk camping this yellow a little bit. Not sure if there's a real objective behind that one other than getting in Nockess's head, but able to use the super speed to get those yellows. Turk regains control of the center in a very timely spawn for him with the Mega under his belt, and this next spawn right next to him as well. Going to be another yellow, and we can see halfway through this match, Turk has eked out a considerable lead now, 12 points, and this is almost as big of a lead as a large value map like Stadium or Horizon, so very impressive stuff from Turk here. Nockess doing their absolute damnedest to fight back, but it feels like they're on the ropes now, constantly having to use the super speeds just to try and stay on the map. And Turk has complete control of this center part. Nockess getting some yellows to their name, but Turk is just doing an exquisite job maintaining control of this match.
Turk's really capitalizing on the reds that spawn in the center. But the gap is still recoverable, even if there are 50 seconds left, in my opinion. It's not too huge, it's 8 points. And Nockess has shown that they also know how to fight back.
Yeah, but it's going to have to start here really quickly. But you can see 5 points now is the lead. Nockess has been fighting back very well. Has the Mega Marble ready to go, and Turk is trying to wait that one out, uses the super speed to try and stay on, uses the blast as well to regain control of the center. Nockess did not see that yellow come up, but is able to get the second one to even the scores on that spawn. Has the super speed ready to go to collect the yellow, and Turk maybe getting a little bit nervous. This one is closing up rapidly. It's going to be a 1-point game once this yellow is collected, but wait, there's only 15 seconds left in the game. Turk not getting the yellow, opts for a super speed instead, and Nockess not seeing the yellow, jumps toward the center, trying to regain control of the middle. It's 5 points, there's not enough time, and Nockess, despite getting the Mega Marble, despite getting the yellow, it's going to be a 3-point win for Turk.
Wow. Wow. If there was just a few seconds left, maybe even 1.5 seconds, Nockess could have super sped into the red and the yellow. And it could have been a tie.
It would have been a lot to ask for sure after the way Turk controlled the middle of that match, had about a 15-point lead over Nockess. And we don't see leads like that vanish all that quickly on King of the Marble. But nonetheless, made a very good effort to close that one up. Turk barely able to hang on his own pick of King of the Marble.
Oh, absolutely. Nockess did a very good job on fighting back.
Nockess picks Fun in the Sun for Game 4. One of the new maps this year. I will say this is not as strong of a pick as Stadium was. I think Turk has a real fighting chance on this one, just given the amount of blasts and megas scattered across the map. This is one that I've seen him do very well at. Of course, Nockess obviously as well, very capable on this map, given the fact that they've picked it into Turk. We're going to have to see how these two get on. Match point. Once again, 2-1 in favor of Nockess. Gonna have to see how Game 4 turns out on Fun in the Sun.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect. It is a big map. You can go fast on it, but as you said, there are a bunch of blasts and Mega Marbles, which definitely have the chance to screw someone over. Guess we'll have to see.
Ooh, Nockess getting the perhaps ping advantage, perhaps reaction time advantage on the Mega Marble. Turk wasn't even able to pick that one up, I don't think. These picnic table spawns are the real location on the map, the spawn that I expect Turk to have an advantage in, because it all comes down to whether you can blast at the right time to knock your opponent off the picnic table. And Turk is a master of controlling that. Nockess still trying to learn it this season, getting back into competitive, but doing a great job so far. 5-point lead for Nockess, and it's a very high-value spawn up on the wooden structure here. Turk has the super jump, jumps over the yellow, but Nockess struggling a little bit to stay on. Maybe a little bit of nerves there as well with that super speed.
Can you maybe grab your underwear and another t-shirt?
Could you mute you guys?
Tomorrow,
All right.
if we do it, we'll be all set. We won't have to.
All right, I guess we should be good. Pretty even game so far. 1 minute into it, and Turk has actually managed to undo all of the lead that Nockess was able to get in those first few seconds off the back of that Mega. Now has a 5-point lead. You can see Turk is really prioritizing the blast and super speed in between each spawn. That's exactly what you need to do on a map like Fun in the Sun. You really need to have that super speed at the ready, but Nockess is going to be first to this spawn. Turk using the super jump, I believe, has a blast ready to go on Nockess and tries to time it at the right moment, but Nockess completely outplays him on this wooden structure spawn.
Yeah, these world structure spawns seem to be going very well for Turk, generally speaking. Especially if you have a Mega Marble active on there, you can really screw up your opponent, throw them off with structure, and get all of the gems, or most of the value.
Yeah, these volleyball court spawns, you really want to have a Mega Marble on. Same thing for these beach towel spawns because you don't edge hit everywhere off of the little mats. Same with the outlines of the picnic table. So you really want to have a Mega to have that not interrupt you so much. They are going blow for blow here, though, as another high value spawn on the wooden structure comes in. 1 yellow for Nockess, but I believe Turk was able to get the blast off there. And it is a 2-point game now. And Nockess benefits by sticking around on this wooden structure, able to get a huge amount of yellows, and that is really going to frustrate Turk. Oh, big tempo advantage for Nockess here, going over to Lasharkus. Alright, Nockess is just a second or two ahead of the curve. Turk is lagging behind on these spawns. Still able to navigate to the picnic table, going under at the right places and around the palm trees. But it's now 15 points, which is quite a bit to overcome in just a minute. Nockess having an iron fist over this one for the time being. 1 minute to go. And Nockess not in a hurry to pick up these reds. Turk is going to have to start doing it himself. Nockess hits the palm tree, though, and this is potentially going to give a lifeline over to Turk. But Turk did not stick the landing in the way he would have liked, and so Nockess is going to be able to mitigate the damage significantly on this spawn.
Yeah, I've seen Nockess expanding their gap and maintaining their gap very well. Overall, very well played. However, Turk still has a chance, sort of.
It's going to have to start
seconds.
right now.
Yeah, it's
only
gonna have
20
to start
seconds
right
left in the
now.
game. Turk is able to pick up some of the yellows, but time is quickly running out. It's still 14 points. Turk, man, you do not have 7 seconds to wait out this spawn. Resigning himself to defeat, it seems, and that is going to be all she wrote for this game. One more spawn that Nockess is going to lie claim to. A good blast from Turk, but this is all she wrote for this game. 3-1 for Nockess, taking Fun in the Sun by 16 points. Really impressive showing on Nockess' own map picks of Scadium and Fun in the Sun to take this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I was impressed. Especially on Fun in the Sun, where it seemed like Turk was fighting, but Nockess eventually managed to take it out and win.